Title: My wife cheated to get VIP Beyoncé tickets and ended up losing everything. I never imagined my marriage would end because of concert tickets. For 7 years, Sarah and I built a life together that felt solid, grounded. We had our routines: Saturday morning coffee runs, late-night Netflix binges, quiet Sunday dinners with her parents. She was the ambitious one, always chasing promotions, always networking. I was the steady anchor, the guy who made sure the bills were paid and the house stayed standing. So when she told me Beyoncé was coming to town, I thought nothing of it. Sarah had always been a die-hard fan. Posters in her teenage bedroom, playlists for every mood. Even that time she dragged me to a documentary screening about the singer's life. When she said she wanted VIP tickets, I laughed and said, "Go for it, just don't sell the house to get them." But then I started noticing things that didn't add up. First, she became secretive with her phone, turning it face down on the table, laughing at texts she wouldn't share. Then came the sudden networking dinners and late-night work events. Sarah wasn't the type to dress up on a Tuesday unless it was for something big. I didn't want to jump to conclusions. Marriage teaches you patience, right? You trust your partner until they give you a reason not to. But one night, I saw the credit card statement and my stomach dropped. 2 charges from a luxury hotel downtown. Same week she claimed she was working late. When I confronted her, she didn't cry, she didn't even look surprised. She just said, "You wouldn't understand." "Try me," I said, my voice shaking. She hesitated before finally blurting out the truth. She had been seeing someone. Not because she wanted to leave me, but because he had access to VIP tickets for Beyoncé's sold-out show. I stood there in stunned silence. "You're telling me you cheated on me for concert seats?" "It wasn't like that," she said quickly, but the look on her face told me she knew exactly how bad it sounded. And that's when something inside me snapped. I walked out of the room that night without saying another word. My hands were shaking, not from anger, but from the sheer absurdity of it all. Sarah, the woman I thought I knew better than anyone, had traded our marriage for a night of glitter and music. The next few days were silent between us. She still went to work, still smiled at the neighbors, still posted selfies like nothing had happened. But I couldn't look at her without feeling this deep, burning mix of humiliation and rage. One night, she finally broke the silence. "I messed up," she said softly, sitting across from me at the kitchen table. "But it was just one time. I only did it because I didn't want to disappoint myself. I've waited my whole life to see her up close." Her words hit me like ice water. "Do you hear yourself?" I asked. "You destroyed us for a concert. Not a job, not a life-or-death decision, a night of music." "I thought you'd understand," she said, tears filling her eyes. "You've always been so supportive. I thought maybe, if I didn't tell you how I got them, it wouldn't hurt anyone." That was the moment I realized she wasn't sorry for what she'd done. She was sorry she got caught. The concert date came, and Sarah went. She didn't even try to hide it. She put on her sparkling dress, posted videos from the VIP section, and came home at 3 a.m. smelling like perfume that wasn't hers. I didn't shout. I didn't throw her things out. I simply called a lawyer the next morning. When she got the papers a week later, she looked stunned. "You're divorcing me over this?" "No," I said calmly. "I'm divorcing you because you showed me exactly where I rank in your life, somewhere below a concert ticket." That was the day everything began to unravel for her. At first, Sarah acted like she didn't care. She told her friends I was overreacting, that it was just tickets, and I'd cool off eventually. But when she moved out, reality hit her hard. Our shared friends stopped inviting her to gatherings. Her parents were furious, not just at her for cheating, but for throwing away a stable marriage over something so trivial. I focused on rebuilding my life. I poured myself into work, reconnected with old friends, and slowly began to feel like myself again. The house felt emptier, yes, but also calmer, free from the tension that had been hanging over us for months. Months later, I ran into one of Sarah's friends at a grocery store. She told me Sarah had been miserable since the divorce. The man she cheated with had cut ties with her right after the concert. Apparently, he'd been stringing along several women, and Sarah was just one of many he'd helped get VIP access in exchange for favors. When I heard that, I didn't feel vindicated. I just felt sad. Sad for the girl who once cried on our first anniversary because I surprised her with takeout from her favorite restaurant. Sad for the woman who couldn't see that our quiet, ordinary life was worth more than a front-row view of a pop star. The last time I saw Sarah was 6 months after the divorce at a coffee shop. She looked thinner, tired, like someone who hadn't slept well in weeks. When she saw me, she tried to smile. "Hey," she said quietly. "I just wanted you to know. I'd give anything to undo what I did. Those tickets weren't worth it." I nodded. "I know," I said, and I meant it. But forgiveness didn't mean going back. I paid for my coffee, wished her well, and walked away, leaving her sitting there, staring at the floor. As I stepped outside, the sun hit my face and I realized something. Losing Sarah had hurt, but it had also freed me. She may have lost everything chasing one night of excitement, but I had found something better. Clarity, peace, and the strength to never settle for less than respect again.